Almost every new car, or 95% by 2030, will be connected to the internet, generating about 25 gigabytes of data per hour. Joining us to discuss this future of mobility are Marco Bifelds of Tata Communications and Jack Palmer from Frost & Sullivan. Starting with Marco, what's driving the rapid adoption of connected vehicle ecosystems?
That's driven by enhanced safety requirements, efficiency requirements, but also demand for connectivity by both the manufacturers and the consumers. Infotainment, entertainment, remote diagnostics are truly pushing this. And this is all backed up by technology innovation, right? If you think about the evolution of connectivity with 5G being implemented, Singapore has now its own 5G standalone network. There's AI, artificial intelligence around the corner that we're using more and more. That is all driving the use cases that we're looking for. And if you just look at the response that we received in a recent market research that we did together with Automotive IQ, 70% of the industry leaders mentioned that connectivity is going to be the cornerstone of their business strategy for the next few years. So truly a critical aspect of the connected vehicle space.
I think connected vehicles have been the mainstay for quite some time. It's a mature technology. It's been around for 20, 25 years. And now consumers really expect it. They expect a seamless navigation experience in the vehicle, plus all the other connected vehicle services. You can't sell a car in many markets now without some portfolio of connected vehicle technology and apps. The automakers see this as a differentiator for their vehicles. All their competitors are doing this. We're seeing the Chinese automakers really move at a very fast pace with new functionality in the vehicle. And technology advancement is our friend. We can borrow technology from the consumer electronics world and integrate it into the vehicle. So really now it is front and center of everything that a car maker does at scale.
And how is this shift to software-defined vehicles changing design and functionality?
Basically, the cars are transforming from let's say traditional cars to computer on wheels, and that allows for a high level of customization of functionality of the cars. So basically everything currently is static still in cars, and while we apply more and more software, all the functionality is becoming governed by let's say things that we can manage remotely. Think about the preheating of your car when you want to start let's say a trip, getting the real-time updates of traffic, but also changing the changing situation on the road, charging stations. Think about potentially adjusting your suspension based on the route that you take or the weather that you'll be encountering. All these things are examples of software-defined vehicles, and it obviously requires a lot of change in the architecture. That also changes the perception of the users of the car. The car truly becomes, let's say, the computer on wheels, and the experience that people have with their phones, they're expecting in the cars as well. Which also means that the functionality is not static. It can be updated over time. Functionality can be added. There's real-time optimization of let's say all systems. Maintenance can be done remotely, so it's truly an efficiency piece, and also let's say an enhancement of the user experience that we're experiencing right now.
Yes, so there is an evolution in the industry where we're going from placing more emphasis on the hardware to the software. Of course, hardware, the physical product, is always going to be essential. People like cars that look nice and always will. However, there's going to be a possibility to upload or upgrade features throughout the life cycle of the vehicle. And that's going to enable continuous improvement, and it's going to open up a new revenue stream for automakers to sell features, and ultimately for consumers to access new functionality, maybe when legislation changes, or if they've got a desire, maybe if they're going on a long journey and they need to maybe entertain the kids in the back, they might be able to unlock rear seat entertainment or something like that.
And of course, security remains a priority. With that, how is secure data exchange ensured for connected vehicles?
Security is important for IoT in general. For let's say automotive, it's especially critical. You can imagine that a car being compromised in terms of security turns that car into potentially a weapon, and that is something that we want to avoid. Just take an example that we've seen last year. There was an example of the TPMS being compromised as the tire pressure system. Which allowed the hackers to go into the car. And that obviously is a situation that you want to avoid. The reason why these breaches still exist is the complexity of the car. We do have solutions to solve for some of that, but given the complexity, it's truly difficult to make things watertight. Recently, as Tata Comms, we deployed a solution with one of our customer OEMs that exactly solves for a similar solution that I was just describing the example of, where, let's say, optimized key management avoids the breach of the system and avoids, let's say, a backdoor entrance into the car. Alongside that, the regulatory environment is important as well. We shouldn't forget about that. Regulations in connectivity are changing every day, and making sure that your solution is compliant with regulations is another piece which is sometimes forgotten about, but is an essential part of what we call security and being compliant with security regulations. And something we have our own solutions for and our team for to make sure that we're compliant all the time.
So security has to be built in. Security by design is a leading principle of anything that we do with a connected car. End-to-end encryption is expected, like on all your consumer electronic apps. There's a lot of data flowing around the software-defined vehicle. We're bound in different automotive markets by regulations. I know that GDPR has led the way in Europe. Now we have the Data Act that's just come in, and different geographies follow the lead of those European regulations. So the thing to say is that we live in a world where security and cybersecurity is never going to be 100% proof. Things can go wrong. It's just how we react to them, and we've got to be really quick in a cat and mouse game. Data leaks can happen, and we've got to react very quickly to them, and we've got to update with the latest technology. And thankfully, we've got a lot of the good guys on our side.
Thank you so much for your time today, Marco and Jack. Looking forward to having you back on the program.
Thank you so much as well. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Once again, those were Marco Bivelds, Vice President of Tata Communications Move, and Jack Palmer, Principal Consultant at Frost & Sullivan. For more news, visit manufacturing.asia.